All right, welcome friends. Today we have a rock star guest. We are with Fabienne Fredickson, who is a powerful catalyst for solo business owners who seek to make the greatest impact they can in their work, all while creating certainty in their business and financial security in their lives. She believes that when women make their own money, and lots of it, they experience a profound feeling of safety in their life that allows them to take up more space for their families, their communities, and, be present in the world. With over 20 years of experience as the founder of boldheart.com, Fabienne has been a mentor to tens of thousands of women business owners. Her company has repeatedly been recognized by the media and Inc. magazine and named one of America's fastest growing private companies for 3 consecutive years. And she's here today to bring massive value to other women who are ready to step into that full vision that so many of us have for our work, our health, our families, our impact. So thanks for being here.
Hey, I'm delighted to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, I always like to ask folks who have been in this for a while, or it seems like, this is just clearly your thing. Did you grow up thinking, when I grow up, I'm going to help women make great money and be great people? Or how did your journey, how did you come to decide this is what I'm going to be when I grow up, if you will?
Well, it's so funny because no one's ever actually asked me this from a growing up perspective. When I was about 6 or 7, I grew up in Paris the first 10 years. I'm here in Provence. Hello from sunny Provence. I used to write down phone numbers that I would see on trucks in Paris and be like, why did trucks not have phone numbers on the side? How are they're doing bad marketing? So I think I was a marketer from the age of 6 and always but I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know what I would do literally until maybe my 3rd career when I was in my early 20s. I had to be, I learned on the job. I think I learned what I wanted to do while doing it. And it came about from seeing so many women coming up to the mic at my conferences saying, I just so badly want to have a voice in my family. And I want to have a choice as to how to use my time to, can I actually do what I really want? Why is it that somebody else is making decisions for me? And literally, Hanna, every time it came down to the fact that she wasn't making her own money or enough of it to have a voice and a choice. And so after a while, I just lovingly wanted to say, like, stop giving. I'm not sure I love the term giving your power away, but literally it's as if they would say, please make my decisions for me. But when I got them to 10K a month consistently, or when we got them to 250, 500, $1 million a year, that conversation stopped being had. They were saying what they wanted to say. They were weighing in on the small and big decisions. If they had a toxic situation, whether it was a corporate job or toxic relationship, or just they didn't want to live where they were living, it was just like, okay, we're just doing it. So the whole idea of women making their own money, and lots of it just came out of a like, why is this? Why do some people in our society have a voice and a choice and we don't, and we're half the sky, like we hold up half the sky. Why aren't we doing it? And so this is what I stand for now, is just like empower the women by showing them how to make their own money.
Yeah. And I would imagine a couple of decades ago, that was leading edge, right? That was new and exciting to find those opportunities where women could step into their power while still managing everything else, right? Not working 100 hours a week at some corporate office or at the hospital or something like that. And now, I mean, what we're looking at here, is this huge surge of entrepreneurship and women starting businesses and the, digital frontier of all these new stores and, workplaces. So how have you seen the industry, or maybe more of like the approach change over these last couple of decades? You know, what you were
Okay.
doing at the beginning to help people make money, how different is that now?
Massively different. And it is so good that you're asking the question, because most people don't actually ask. I've been doing this for 21 years. So, you know, started in 1999, or maybe 22 years at this point, if whoever does the math. So much has changed. I'll say where we're going, and then I'll speak about where we've been and where we are now. The future is female. Everybody write that down. The future is feminine. I cannot say this loudly enough, and it's just not my own conviction, me coming up with this. It is literally the pendulum has shifted, or is shifting. Where we were 20 years ago when I first started was a world of, we're still a little bit in this world, very masculine, very toxic, go for the jugular, beat people over the head with a 2x4, buy, and you're a loser if you aren't making money, if you aren't a toxic, aggressive voice in the marketing world. I predicted this 10 years ago, not that I'm a prophet or anything, I don't mean it in that way, predicted, but I started seeing it actually more than 15 years ago, where that way of being in the world was no longer working. It became obsolete at least 15 years ago. I'll tell you what's happened. The masculine energy, and I just want to say I love men. I'm married to a great guy. I'm raising 3 kids, 2 of whom are gentlemen. So I'm not male or masculine bashing here. But what has happened is, for the last 5,000 years or more, the masculine has been rewarded. All things masculine, action, competition, accumulation, all of that. Busy, 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 busy has been rewarded. At the same time, the feminine has been mocked, tolerated at best. But if you look out in the world, look at governments, look at nature, look at climate, look at refugees, look at just everything, just basically look at everything that's going out in the world, there is too much of this forcing masculine energy, including business, where now the thing that will save it is female energy. So let me wrap it around to bring it to business for us women who have their own businesses. Is now is our time. More love, more compassion in business, more inclusion. You see this, Black Lives Matter, everything that's happening, more of the feminine approach to nurturing leads as opposed to, just badgering them. The world is thirsty for female entrepreneurs, and this is our era. Love, compassion, inclusion, a more soft, nurturing approach that cares rather than pushes. Attract rather than push.
Yeah, and I think I see this even in the micro experiment of individual businesses. I personally started with the masculine energy of like, push, do more, figure it out, just keep going, just more numbers, more stuff, more training, more tactics. And that inevitably led to multiple burnouts, right? And am I really cut out for this? And should I just go back to working for someone else? And like all of that kind of stuff that I think probably happens more to women, but whatever, we don't need to get into gender bias. Like you said, this isn't necessarily about male versus female, but there's like this secret ingredient that I think a lot of us are waking up to. You know, in my little world, it's because a lot of us are getting past that 3 to 5 year mark in our businesses where it's like, like the pushing thing is kind of old. Don't really need to do that as much anymore. And then coupled with what we're seeing in society, that massive pause that we had last year, like with the pandemic, I think really showed a lot of people hey, maybe there is a different way to do things. And so to hear you having seen this for decades kind of coming, and this shift to softening and to becoming more from this place of like grace and giving and abundance in society and business, and then just like our individual lives can fall in line as well. I'd love to hear how we marry those two, right? Like, what are some of those like laws that no matter what the like market is doing, right? Whether the market is being hustle and boom and really masculine, or they're being really loving and light and feminine, I know there's got to be some like common threads as well. So I'm curious now to hear some of the universal laws or spiritual things that have kind of always been underscoring business, in your opinion.
Yes, happy to. So let's go back to how the world works. If we're not going to use masculine and feminine, we're now going to use yin and yang, or yang and yin. Okay, everything in nature that works is a combination of both yin and yang. When you have, okay, so again, taking a step back, most people in business are teaching just the strategy, the tactics, the funnels, the hacks, all of that. But if that were to work on its own, we would all be billionaires. You can get everything that you need on the internet. What people are forgetting, and that's the yang energy, the masculine energy, you need the yin. There's a push and then there's a pull. The pull is the attraction. It's the feminine energy. If you think about manifestation, it's an attraction energy, not so much doing, but being. So let's talk about wealth consciousness. Wealth consciousness is so deeply powerful, but because it's more of a feminine being energy, it's been, up until the movie The Secret came out about what, 10, 15 years ago, people were just thinking that was woo-woo stuff. Everything we teach at Bold Heart to get you the 10K a month consistently, or $1 million in your business within 3 to 5 years, is a combination of the strategy doing and the attraction being. So all the funnel stuff and all that, you must learn all of this. No matter what, you need to know how to write copy, you need to know how to be on social media and how to close the sale. The being part is the wealth consciousness. Now I'll explain what wealth consciousness is, and it has nothing to do with money. Okay, I hope those listening write that down. Wealth, you can be wealth conscious without having that much money in the bank. It's not actually about the dollars. Wealth consciousness is, one, understanding how the world works, and I'm going to explain it in just a moment. Understanding that all of the universe is your ATM. You can have what you want at a moment's notice, or a few days' notice, or a few weeks' notice. Wealth consciousness is understanding how the world is actually set up, so that once you know how to plug in the right numbers, shall we say, into the algorithm of the universe, you can attract money, you can attract your partner, you can attract the body, you can attract the living home situation, health, whatever you want. Understanding that it is available to you at all times is number one. Number two is that you are deserving of it. Believing that yes, you are deserving and capable of having and worthy of and valuable enough, and it's not for her and it's not for him, it's for you too. So wealth consciousness is a huge part of attraction, understanding how the world works and that it's available at all times. People are in fear in business all the time, especially women, because a lot of their lives matter in the sense that a lot of times we have little ones who depend on us, or we're in a situation that doesn't serve us, and if we don't have money, we can't leave.
Yeah, safety matters. Safety, security totally matters. Yeah.
Yep, it's at the core of everything we teach, right? We know that women who make their own money, and lots of it, feel safe in the world. And that is like a crazy conversation to be having as a woman business owner or coach. It's like your safety and your financial security is at the core of everything we teach. Instead of, let me give you that Lamborghini and, like, who cares? Who cares? And then the ability to believe that you can have it. Once you believe you can have it, once you believe and expect you can have the thing that you want, you will manifest it into your life. So it's not just the doing. You can go online and get the strategy. You can pay for the very expensive coaching programs. You can have exactly the scripts and all of that. But if you don't believe that you are worthy of it, if you believe that rich and successful people are sleazy, inauthentic thieves that take up too much of a carbon footprint, or they're, I want to use a word, but I'll keep it PG, jerks.
Okay. Yeah.
And you don't want to be like them. If you believe that if you have too much, people will criticize you, driving down the road in your convertible with your big house, you'll lose friends. People will tap on your door saying, can I have some? Or that it will, it's a fluke, the other shoe will drop, you'll lose it all. All of those beliefs and fears, that self-image of it's for other people and not for me, all of that will get in the way. So the strategy is good. You need the mindset, you need the self-image, you need a restructured belief system and an understanding of the universal laws. Happy to explain them. But first, how does this land with you, Hanna?
Yeah, no, I think that we can all see that. I can totally see that in my own life and my clients' businesses as well, where, at first it's like, can I do this? I'm not ready. Who am I? Right. And then we get going, some systems start working, you start seeing results. And then, immediately it's, well, this isn't going to last. Well, that was just a fluke, right? Like we tell ourselves these stories to talk ourselves out of what really is possible. I totally am the type of person who gets a taste and then I'm like, we got to keep it. We can't change it. Oh my gosh, it might go away. Like I go right back into scarcity. I totally felt that. I mentioned we moved to Mexico this year, and this house is straight off the vision board. I couldn't have figured it out. It just landed, right? And we're here and it's like, I'm in so much awe. And then I just wait for the other shoe to drop. And I would love to know, I don't think that necessarily goes away, but I think there's got to be better ways to, keep leaning in and keep trusting the universe, because every time I do, and I'm in that receptive mode, it's friggin' delightful, right? But it's sticky to keep running.
Okay.
Into. Yeah.
So here's the thing, it will go away if you understand how you manifested that. So if you, when I teach this, I teach wealth consciousness. I have a thing called the Money Magnet Club that I teach that helps people manifest either $9,000 or $90,000 in 3 months. It really is the same. It depends how big you're willing to think and how much resistance you have. So when you gain a certain amount of money, or you get rewarded with, let's say, a house that you love, and you're worried about the other shoe dropping, it's because there's not enough faith in how the process works. So to break it down, everything you want is energy. I know we all are as spiritual woo-woo people, we are like, money is energy and all that, but nobody, I think we're all just kind of regurgitating what other people are saying. People don't actually understand that it is energy, but everything is energy. This tube is energy, this cap is energy, everything is energy. This table, this computer, me, you, energy. So how do we know this? If you take a microscope, very powerful, you zoom in, you understand in the quantum field, quantum mechanics, quantum physics, it goes down to the smallest particles, neutrons, atoms. I don't even know. It doesn't actually matter what they're called, right? I don't get it. I don't really understand how electricity works, but I use it to my advantage. You don't need to know anything other than the basic principles. You zoom in to this laptop. In the end, it looks solid to you and me, but zoomed in, it's a bunch of atoms, neutrons, protons, electrons, and they're not touching each other. There's no actual matter. It's all energy. And if you understand the quantum field, you understand that these elements are all there based on your observation. Okay, let me explain potentiality. Potentiality means that everything, whether it's your house or that $10,000 a month income or $1 million or that ideal partner, it all exists as a wave of potentiality. A wave of potentiality means it can happen, it can exist here, there, everywhere. You may have heard of alternate universes, right? If not, we can look it up. Everything's available for Googling. What collapses, I hope that we're not getting too technical, but I'll keep it as simple as possible. What collapses potentiality into your reality is your observation. Your consistent and constant, passionate feeling observation of the thing that you want. So what does that look like? Abraham Hicks talks about this in terms of just feeling it, right? Feel what it's like to have the thing you don't already have, but as if you already have it. Oh, I love the idea that this house is mine and will always be mine, this or something better. That 10K a month, it is here. And so how do you make it be here? You feel what it feels like to have it. You smell what it smells like to have it. Does that mean you're smelling champagne, or does it mean that you're smelling the lavender fields outside? Are you hearing the, I'm in Provence, so that I don't know if you can hear them, but the Provençal cicadas. Do you see the boat that you've wanted to manifest? It's all about the 5 senses. The more you can focus on the thing that you want as if you already have it, using all the 5 senses for at least 16 seconds of pure thought, again, an Abraham Hicksism, right? 16 seconds of pure thought, the more you send rockets of intention, that's the more spiritual universal law piece, the law of cause and effect. You cause something to happen by your complete focus on it. Some people would say, oh, well, you're being obsessive. No, I'm just choosing to attract what I want into my life. And then to have the emotion. You can have 16 seconds, but if you do 32 seconds, you're compounding the effect. If you do 64 seconds, a full minute of focusing on what you want with emotion, you will bring it into your life. So the law of cause and effect, the law of polarity, all of the universal laws are not ephemeral, the opposite. They're universal. They are there at all times for you to work with them. They're easy if you stop believing that it's not going to happen, if you stop believing that it's for others, if you stop believing that the universe is finite as opposed to truly infinite. Mm-hmm. When you understand how the world works, and you go from fear or lack to faith and abundance. I know these are terms we use in this world that we, this healer type of world, but when you actually play the game, you win every time. I've been using this for 15, 18 years. The first time I heard about it was at a macrobiotic conference in Massachusetts, and it blew my mind. And this is why I've been at multiple 7 figures a year for 13 years now, taking several months of vacation off per year, hundreds of clients, thousands of clients per year. But yet, like good marriage, I'm not bragging, because you can all have your version of that too, whatever your version is.
Yeah, it's available.
Whatever you want is available. You want to live in the mountains, you want, that's it. So it's like, how good do you want it? Just make it happen by using what I just shared.
Yeah. I first learned about this through Jack Canfield, and I was all about it. And I sat down most days for a year for 10 minutes and just played the mental movie. And that's why I can say this is the vision board house. And I want that to be one of today's takeaways, right? To really lean into this visualization practice and to pick up some of these feminine tools that we talk about on this show, and Fabienne has all over her website as well. So if you're enjoying this conversation, so was I. However, we got cut off. We had a glitch in technology, and Fabienne and I are both people who are, respectful of each other's time. So this episode did get cut a little bit short. We weren't able to resolve in our scheduled amount of time. So the good news is you can continue this conversation with both myself and Fabienne by connecting with us personally. So we started talking a little bit after this point about, what it's looking like for each of us to take the next step in our business. And if that is something that you want to do as well, Fabienne can help you with that. If you go over to boldheart.com, that's where all of her good stuff is, and you'll see it's really engaging, and you can schedule a conversation with her team. And of course, same with us at dreamlifeisreallife.com. So thank you so much for picking this up. I hope you got a ton of value around what is actually possible for you. And if you set aside some of this time to do the visualizations and to lean into what might be possible for you, this is when your dream life becomes your real life. Cheering you on, and we'll talk soon.